Hi, I'm Daniel Ahrendt. I'm a sophomore in CEM, and this summer I got the opportunity to work for Bowen Engineering. I'll tell you a little bit about my project. My project was the Jackson Pike Wastewater Treatment Plant located in Columbus, Ohio. It was a $30 million project for the city of Columbus, and our main goal was to make the plant more sustainable. To do this, we installed 2 generators which make electricity off the existing wastewater treatment process. We're also going to take the steam generated from the engines and use that for heating purposes throughout the plant. So when I first started, we were doing mainly civil concrete work, doing a lot of pouring and demo work, and now as I'm leaving, we started to transition more into mechanical and piping work, going down into the tunnels and installing new pipe. So far, we've successfully installed both generators, poured the deck above it, and we are currently on pace to meet our new goal of May 2024. A little bit about my responsibilities. I did a lot of MRRs, so when material comes in, you have to track it, make sure it's good, and not only quantity, but also quality. So when we install it, there aren't any problems with it. I also did a lot of RFIs and submittals. Whenever we had a problem with the scope of the project or something was off on the drawings, we had to send it back to the city of Columbus and make sure that it's good and up to standards. So whenever it came back, I had to redline it and put it into the book, which is later going to be sent back to the city just for clarification. And so if we have to go back on the project later, you know what's wrong with it. I also did a lot of organization. I organized the entire layout area and did a lot of mapping of it out just to make sure whenever people need the materials, they can know where to find it easily. Kind of the same thing with tracking material. We'd get a list from our vendor, and then I'd go through the list as it came in and make sure that everything came in. And then if it didn't, I'd have to contact him later. I also did a lot of isometric weld mapping of all the radiator lines on the plant. This includes the weld number, the elevation of it, so when it's buried you can dig back down into it and make sure you don't hit the pipe, and then also the tests on it because each weld test needs a certain type of one. And then final thing I did was layout, use that elevation stick, and then I also did a lot of chalk lines and then just pen and paper stuff. Some of my challenges, I'd say some of the job site challenges would be going back and forth with the city. Whenever we had a problem, we had to talk to the city about it, and that would always take a while because they'd have about 2-3 weeks to respond. There was also a lot of unknown existing structures throughout the project. We'd find a random manhole or a random pipe, and we wouldn't know whether or not it was active or if we were able to take it out or not. And that's kind of the problem with existing structures because not everything is on the layout. And then probably one of our biggest problems would be the waste gas burners. We struggled to get the ignition to light, and that took about 2 months more than it was supposed to, and it actually didn't get finished until the time I left. Some of my personal challenges, my car got stolen and totaled. This was like pretty early into my internship to where I had to have a rental car for about a month or two and also get a couple rides to work. And then I also had to try to balance my workload out. I was taking Calc 3 over the summer, and then I was also working out every day. So just trying to find a balance between all that and make sure I get all my stuff done. And then also a lack of construction knowledge. This is my first internship, so I've never done something like it before, and I didn't know what most of the material was when it came in, so it was kind of hard to track at first. Some of my personal successes, I organized and put over 400 submittals and 225 RFIs into plan, grid, and box. This is so everyone can track everything good. And so when we send it out to the city at the end, we don't have to try to search for files for 2 days. Then I also created mapping for all the radiator lines, organized and mapped out the laydown area, and I've done over 75 MRRs. Then I'd say my biggest thing would probably be improved communication. I struggled at first with communication. I'm not good at public speaking, but running the meetings and doing all that, I feel like it really helped me improve on that. And I feel like I can talk to anyone out on the site now. And then here's my 1-second everyday video. We had to do this for our company, and I feel like it's a good representation of what I did every day, not only on the project, but also on the weekends. So yeah.
Everyone talking lemons whenever
So yeah, I was definitely busy over the summer, but I also had time to do a bunch of other things as you saw. And then, so what I've learned a lot about the wastewater treatment process, probably more than I want to be honest, but I mean, it is pretty unique. I've also learned a lot about organizational skills and how essential it is to not fall behind. You just have to make sure that you stay on track of everything. That also goes into time management, trying to find a balance in between everything. I was able to pass Calc 3 over the summer, so that was pretty good. And then self-dependency too. This was the first time I was away from home, so I had to make my own food, make sure I stayed on top of everything, and my car getting stolen didn't really help. Closing remarks, I'd say don't be afraid to take on new challenges. It can be pretty rough trying to go somewhere you've never been before, but I mean, you kind of just have to do it. Take the step, don't be afraid. And then I'd also say get familiar with apps like Bluebeam and Excel. Engineering 131 is pretty good with teaching you the basic fundamentals of Excel, but I'd also say try to use Bluebeam because I use that basically every day. And then yeah, my final thing would be don't bring a Kia to Columbus. Thank you.